injured.
All of a sudden, Maddie starts to cry. And she says that she was somehow injured. But from my vantage point, I'm looking at the game. Maddie was not kicked.
Maddie's like crying and saying that Nia or somebody else kicked her or whatever. And Melissa immediately is like,
Nia's pretty rough, but Maddie does not like getting rough at all.
Ma'am, she seemed to be really getting into being rough and really happy to be doing it when she was in control of the watermelon. My, how the tables have turned. The second she's not winning and in control, she's crying. All the moms are commenting that Maddie was crying because she didn't win.
The child was not injured. Melissa needs to get a better balance of how to deal with these situations.
And I agree.
I definitely agree with that.
I think the way that Melissa just freaked out and immediately was like,
putting the
Maddie,
blame on
stop,
somebody else.
Stop, Maddie. It's swollen. Like, bitch, no, it wasn't.
It's not swollen.
Ma'am, it was not.
It's the day of the competition.
Maddie's rehearsing and her rival, Juliana, is rehearsing.
Cheese and rice. This scene makes me want to rip my hair out.
It's really cringy.
Like, why, people? Why?
It's cringy because they're forcing this, like, competition, this competitiveness, and this, like, really uncomfy reaction and interaction between these kids.
While Maddie was rehearsing, there was a little girl practicing as well, about 10 feet away from her. Her name is Juliana, and we've seen her at other competitions. A lot of people think that Juliana is Maddie's big competition. Don't get me wrong, she's a sweet girl and a great little dancer, but Maddie has no competition.
Ma'am, I know you think the sun shines out of Maddie's ass, but it doesn't. And yeah, she prevails in this episode, but there are dancers who are better. This is on a TV show, and Juliana and her mom are probably gonna see this. So, way to be weird.
Hi! Your job so much about you. Hi, I'm Melissa. So you're tiny like my Maddie. Are you a good tumbler?
Yes.
Well, Mackenzie's a good tumbler too.
And does it really matter who wins, or does it really matter who has fun?
That's right.
What's the
Because we
answer?
want...
I don't care if I don't win.
And it's so, like, obvious that, like, she's lying. Like, you can definitely tell that she's lying. She absolutely cares if she doesn't win. And that's okay. I am the type of person that, like, just be honest with me and tell me that you want to win. Cool. Then I'm going to try, like, 10 times as hard to beat you.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me and say that
It's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine.
I don't care. I don't care if I don't win. And rub it off. Like, no, ma'am. Honesty is the best policy.
And then we find out Maddie's the only one who qualified for the pageant.
But I don't think so, because Brooke is obviously, like, waiting in line with an evening gown.
Correct. But...
Maddie was the only one who qualified for the pageant. I would expect nothing less from her.
And then... I don't think that's right. I think she's the only one who qualified for the pageant that they were going to show on the TV show.
Okay, valid.
And she goes up, she does her solo. I think it's good. I think the costume looks pretty on her. Melissa, of course, is sobbing because...
When is she not sobbing?
Yeah. Apparently, the title pageants at dance competitions are like a brand new thing to Melissa. I'm just confused by that. Because hasn't Maddie won titles? Maybe it's different at every competition. I don't know. Because I've seen them before.
Maybe they don't have to, like, have a speech.
I don't know. It's weird.
And, like, wear an evening gown. I don't know, because I obviously was not good enough to go for a title.
Today I'm doing my solo for the pageant, and I'm kind of nervous because my rival, Juliana, is also competing against me.
I think it's nice that she admits that she's nervous. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I know dancing is my strong suit, and the interview part is not.
Which is good.
I think that's nice.
I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Girl, you told the truth. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, be honest. I understand what it's like to be somebody who, like, wants to do well and is a perfectionist and really just, like, goes hard in the paint. Mm-hmm. But there are things that I'm not good at. And I think for an 8-year-old to be able to say, like, I'm not really good at this part, I think that shows maturity. I think it's good. So good for you, Maddie. Maddie does go up on her little speech that she's prepared, and meaning she's like forgotten what she's saying and she fumbles her words a little bit. And Melissa and Kelly have this uncomfy interaction.
Melissa is bawling and she's like, did she do well? And Kelly's like, she walked gorgeous. That is a Debbie thing to say, y'all.
Yeah.
A Debbie thing to say.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to lie, but she also doesn't want to be like, she looked like shit. Her words sounded horrible.
And all the while, Abby's like over there shaking her head. She's like,
oh gosh,
what the hell?
And then we find out that Juliana is first runner-up and Maddie is the title winner.
Good job, Maddie. Even though you fumbled your words, I think you did a really good job. I mean,
she did the best she could.
Right.
It's not something she does normally, and she tried. What else can you ask for? You know?
Not a whole lot.
Now it's time for the group number.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And Brooke has been really cold towards Brandon all week.
I probably would have been too if I was 13 and forced to slide down a boy.
Yeah. And all I have to say is, ma'am, what are these costumes? They're supposed to be models. And they're in, like, cheesy swimsuits.
So I guess, like...
And these, like, summer hats.
So are, like, you, like, swimsuit models, maybe? Is that what we're going for? I'm not really sure. But it doesn't matter because the dance is awful.
We also don't see a lot of it in one shot. We see, like, little bits and pieces, and it doesn't look great. I can't really tell you overall what the storyline is or whatever, because we never see it from beginning to end.
Right.
It just looks jumbled, and maybe that's just the way it's shot. It just is jumbled. Brooke and Brandon are super disconnected the whole time. It's like they don't even know that each other exists. And the dance is over, and it doesn't win anything.
Snapshot did not even place in the top 10. And that's unheard of for this group. This is like the dream team.
Ma'am, what?
Excuse me?
Normally you hate these children.
All the while, Brandon and Mom are running away. They are running.
It's
as fast as they can.
Because they don't want to be blamed, obviously, so they're just going to run away.
And I get that.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's time for...
our girl Nia Solo.
Yes!
We love her. Abby, like, pulls Nia outside to rehearse. Okay.
Yeah. Give me something! You're like at a funeral!
I spit my drink out and laughed so hard.
Yeah.
Because we recently had to go to a funeral for somebody that we know, and Kinsey walked up to this poor man whose father had just passed away, and she's like, how are you doing? And he's like, in a wheelchair, can't walk.
Oh, God. It was so uncomfortable.
So, like, that's what I thought about.
It's just one of those moments you're like, I don't
know what to say. What do you even say to that? But also, like, that was, like, the same thing. Like, she's like, you're, like, in a funeral. And I just, like, what do you say to that? Are you dying? Like, is she the person that's dead? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I don't get it.
But shocking. Holly and Abby are not getting along.
Yeah.
It's vicious at times. And sometimes I don't think Abby realizes the way that she says things and how hurtful her words are. And I'm not asking you to wipe her butt. I'm asking you to do your job. When you talk to Maddie and you're giving her corrections, you're not barking at her and yelling at her. Wrong. How many times did I tell you this? Time and time again. You don't talk to her that way.
Because I have to tell her once. I don't know what Holly's problem is this week, but she said to me, you're just barking orders at her. You're just barking at her, which was like calling me a dog, which I did not appreciate. Go out there.
And now Holly's crying.
I've spent a lot of time with Holly. I have never seen her get emotional. She's a stone mountain. And she was crying her heart out because when it's your daughter, it hurts.
Thank you, Christy, for that loving thought, because that's literally the only time we see you in this episode. Where have you been, homegirl?
And Holly said that she was okay until she saw Nia sitting there and she was upset.
I was okay until I saw her sitting there and she's upset. I never thought I would let dance get to me.
Oh, I know. And I think Holly finally stepped back from that educator stance and she became a mother. And she saw what I go through every week.
And I think it's sad because Holly definitely feels guilt and she's really upset because she allowed her daughter to be subjected to Abby and her criticism and the way that she teaches for so long, and she thinks that it's really impacting Nia, and I just think that's sad. Yes, I think you are to blame at some point, but at the same time, this hasn't negatively at this moment impacted your daughter all that much. She's a sweet kid. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She still really loves to dance. She tries really, really hard. And so I think at this moment, it's like, Holly, give yourself a break. You know, there's going to be times later on where I'm going to come hard for the moms and I'm going to say, like, you're choosing to let your child be emotionally abused by this person, and it might not be by Abby, but it's definitely, you know, manipulated by producers and whatever, and the moms do subject their daughters to that. And I don't think that's the case right now. I think what Holly had a problem is the inequity between the way Nia gets corrected and Maddie gets corrected.
Yes.
And so she was trying to stand up for her daughter and say, hey, you know, this isn't okay, and she's feeling guilty because her daughter isn't the prize. And I think it's sad, but Holly and Nia have a really sweet relationship, and Nia is like comforting her mom, and then that makes Holly feel guilty again because she's the one who's supposed to be the strong one of the day. She's supposed to be giving Nia support, and there Nia was giving her support. And I just think it's sweet that we see how close they are.
Yeah, but that also is like a testament to like how good of a mother I see Holly as.
I thought you were going to say how good of a mother I am. And I was like...
Well, yes, I have mothered 16,000 dogs and 14 million horses.
I know, I was just going to be like, ma'am, what are you on about? Okay.
No,
yes,
I really think that is a testament of how good she is as a mother. Because, like, she knows that she's supposed to be the rock and she fell apart and she feels bad for that. As a mother, that I am not a mother. You would want your child to be comforting, like to comfort somebody in that situation and to make them, you know, so I feel like that for me just shows me how great Holly is.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. And now it's time for Nia to go dance. And Holly's really worried that Nia is not going to remember her routine and the corrections. So Nia goes out and she does great.
I actually really like this dance.
Same. I think it shows that Nia is a really good little entertainer.
And she really worked hard on the corrections. And the whole dance was not perfect, but you can definitely see moments when they were in rehearsal as to the performance itself. And you can really see her apply those corrections.
Yeah, I agree. I think she does great. And Nia gets first in the folkloric category, and it's her first all season.
Yay!
Yay, Nia, we love you. But also, what the fuck's the folklore category?
I don't know. I was gonna ask you.
Okay, I've never seen that at a competition, so.
We're back in the dressing room.
We're back again. Back, tell your friend.
Abby is talking to the moms.
Okay.
And she says,
we have had an amazing competition season. The dream team has been doing so well. Maddie is undefeated with her solos. So I have a little more news. I think your mothers are gonna fall off their chairs.
Oh, God, what?
We're going from here to Vegas to Los Angeles, California, and to Lake Tahoe.
I'm not gonna fall off my chair. I'm gonna shoot myself.
I felt that, ma'am.
Ma'am, I get it.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
That is a lot.
All the while, Kathy is rolling her eyes.
This is not possible for us. We did not bargain for this kind of travel. I've got committed things happening at home for my dance studio, so it's not possible. We're not doing it.
Okay, well, we're not gonna go to Las Vegas. We're getting off the party train. Just not gonna work for us.
If I'm gonna go on tour, I'm gonna go on tour with my students who are winning platinums.
My question is, ma'am, have you looked at any of the scores? Because a lot of these girls have been winning platinums.
Awesome.
I respect you as a teacher. I think you're wonderful. I'm not going to Vegas.
Can we get that tattooed on her forehead? I respect you as a teacher, because she clearly does not respect Abby as a teacher. And I know that a lot of the altercations in the next, the upcoming seasons are all producer driven, but even the conversations she has with people on social media during the time, it's like, yeah, you might actually respect her and this is all for show, but it doesn't have to be as cruel as it is.
It's the people that you just bend over backwards for. You give the opportunity to, you don't stick to your rules, and this is how it turns out.
I have to agree with that statement, though.
Yes.
Like, people take advantage of you, and the more you bend over backwards for them, the more they're going to take advantage of you. Y'all, what a wild ride today. There was no love found on this dance floor today.
It was just overall uncomfortable. That's how this episode was for me.
No love.
Uncomfortable.
I think the actual name for the episode should be Uncomfortable.
On the dance floor. Lifetime, just let me know. I will do your titles from now on. It's fine.
Call
me. I'm available. Do you want to recap the places, what everyone got? So